All right, it says we are live. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
This is Heath, Frontier Survival, and it's David, right?
David.
With Central KY Bushcraft here with you. Glad anybody that's with us right now could join us. Anybody that joins us in the future, we truly appreciate it. But this show is a little shout-out show that we'd like to call it, live stream. So far that we've had it the past two Sundays, I'm not going to really have it as a dedicated Sunday stream, but if anybody who would like to be on the shout out show, whatever day is best for them, that's what be the day best for me more than likely. So I don't really worry about having it on a specific day. But David, if you'd like to, you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Not much to say. Early 50s. Been doing this my whole life. What everybody refers to as bushcraft now, when I was growing up, my dad referred to it as woodscraft. And a lot of what I know, that's where I learned it, was from my dad. Dad was born in 35, grew up in the beginning and tail end, I guess you'd say, of the Great Depression. There were a total of 8 kids in his family. He had 2 sisters that were stillborn. Well, I say stillborn. They lived less than a year before they passed. There were 5 brothers and 1 sister that remained. And they farmed for a living and supplemented their meat with hunting and trapping. And they did a lot of fishing, did a lot of trapping. And back then, most of the trapping they did were primitive means, figure 4s, spring snares, any kind of deadfall, just that kind of stuff. And then they hunted with 22 shotguns and slingshots. So a lot of what I learned is stuff that Dad taught to me when I got about 6, 7, 8 years old. And he taught me things all the way up through when he finally passed in 2012.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of, some of what my story. I mean, I kind of had a lot of grandfathers to help me out though, but just kind of, I mean, especially in this state, and then there's a lot of states as well, but that primitive way of life, kind of, a lot of us had a part of that, or at least grew up in that in some means. I mean, there's a lot of that that's kind of fell by the wayside nowadays.
Yeah. Technology has really put a hurt on a lot of it.
Right. That's true.
When I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I'd come home from school, grab me a bite to eat, and then a pocket knife and a book of matches, and be gone until it got dark. And then would come home, do homework, and go from there. And that was an everyday thing growing up.
Yeah. We got quite a few people here with us. Mike Turner, 712 Catfishing. Force One, the Bite Fishing. Small Water Charters is with us. Ace Catfishing. Pond Predator Nation. Troy, there in Canada. Caribou Country Outdoors. See, Survival LT. Survival LT is with us. Baby girl. At Rachel Ansley that was speaking up there in the chat, that's a young man. His name's Connor Stevens. He's actually here from my hometown.
Oh,
he's I don't know. Connor, can't speak up. I kind of forgot your age, but he's I know he's not he might be 9 or 10 or 11 years old, but he really enjoys camping, and you don't see that a lot these days. But,
no, you don't.
But I mean, I don't have kids, but I know if I had kids, I would bring them up in this way if I could, the best of my ability. I mean, I guess you probably have children, so you probably try. Is that right?
I've got a daughter that's 22 and a son that's 13. And the daughter, I brought her up doing all of this. And she really took to the archery aspect of it. She actually
Oh,
won a scholarship to Midway with it, and her senior year, she was ranked 33rd in the state. And then
that's great.
my son, he's more technical. He likes the video games and that kind of stuff, but he still gets out, and we've camped out several times in the backyard. And he likes to he
Right.
takes spells where he likes to get out there and whittle with me and stuff. So
Hmm. That's great. I mean, like I said, it's just stuff that's kind of fallen by the wayside for some, but it's always good to be outside, and even if it's just in your yard. I mean,
yeah,
I for one would recommend if you were going to try something new, I wouldn't go to the woods with it. I'd try it out my yard first.
yeah, yeah. I like to try out all the gear I've got. I like to try it out here close to the home. That way, if I've got a failure, then hey, we're in
Right.
good shape. But Dad, I
Jeff Jackson.
kind of following along with Dad. Dad loved to pass this information on. And when I went from Weeblos into Boy Scouts, Dad volunteered as our assistant scoutmaster. And we went on a camping trip every month, year round. It didn't matter what month it was. Every month we went on a camping trip in Boy Scouts. And we had a boy in our scout troop that his dad owned a farm that had an old farmhouse on it. And he gave the farmhouse to the scouts, and we went in and worked on it. It was just a 2-room farmhouse, and we worked on it. So in our winter months, that's where we camped at, was in that farmhouse. The floor had been taken out of part of it, so we had a fire in it, and that's where we camped in the winter months. And Dad was always trying to pass on stuff to us kids in the scouts.
Right.
And that's part of the reason why I started this channel. My wife strongly encouraged me to do it, and I had cold feet until she pushed me on over the edge and pretty much said, go ahead and do it. You'll enjoy it. So that's
Right.
where we're at.
I mean,
hey, everyone.
Yeah. Mr. Jeff Jackson, he joined us. Looks like we got 5 are showing in the chat, so appreciate everyone stopping by. And you talk about Weeblos and Scouts. I went from Cub Scouts to Weeblos, and I kind of got out of it at Weeblos, but just the whole aspect of it, it helped me out a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
Of course, I was in the active duty Army for a little while, and then later on in the Kentucky National Guard.
Yeah.
So
we got lucky. Our scoutmaster was in the Air National Guard. And one of the things that he did in the Air National Guards, he taught wilderness survival. So we got a lot of that, repelling and a lot of stuff like that through there as well through him.
That's awesome. And of course, kind of what got me to decide to do a YouTube channel in this type of, niche or genres, I already had some of the implements and love to get outside, and whether it be practicing, bushcraft or woodscraft or, some type of survival aspect, was just watching some of the other channels, that have been established for a while, and watching a lot of the stuff on TV kind of got me back into it.
Yeah.
Like dual survival and even like Mountain Men. I mean, I love that show too.
I did too. I hated to see Tom leave.
Oh yeah. Mike Cole, he's with us today.
Hey, Mike, Jeff.
But I'm not sure really if the resurgence of channels in this genre came about after some of them shows came on TV, or if it's vice versa. But I know there's a lot of people that were on the show alone, whether it was what it is, that have YouTube channels, at this time.
And then you also see a lot of them that are on alone that get into actually teaching wilderness survival now after the fact.
Yeah, and then
Pond Predator,
I mean,
yes, it is. We're well represented tonight.
that's right, Pond Predator. Yeah, Pond Predator Nation. They're from Kentucky as well. Yeah. There's another outdoor channel I've come across. I think they do just a lot of hunting and fishing, but the Bicknell Bunch. Not sure if you heard of them, but I think they're from
No, I
Irving,
haven't.
Kentucky.
Irvin, I'll have to try and find them. All about supporting local as much as I can.
Oh yeah, and of course the gentleman I had on last week, Stephen Lewis. He's out of Harlan, Kentucky, and he has the Crafty Crow Show, which
Yeah,
it's an outdoor channel, but he throws his own spin on things and does a
yeah.
little different stuff here and there.
And my biggest problem is I follow so many people right now. It's hard to keep up with everything that everybody puts out.
Yeah,
Not enough hours in the day.
what I try to do is I'll get the notifications and of everybody I've subscribed to because I got the bell rung on all of them, and then maybe towards the weekend or something, or in the evenings, I just do a binge watch on what I can for until it's time for me to hit the sack or whatever. But yeah, Mercer County, Pond Predator Nation.
Yeah, I actually work over there in Mercer County. I work for the sheriff's department over there.
Oh, so are you a deputy or just?
Yeah, I'm a deputy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Been doing it about 24 years. I got about a year and a half, and I can retire.
Well, that's another good position, or that profession that kind of goes a little in hand to hand with the outdoors, and some tactical type aspects and practices, I guess.
Yeah, usually it's funny. I work night shift. Usually the night shift guys, we haven't had one, knock on wood, for a while. But if anybody runs into the woods, usually everybody waits for me to get there and then lets me go in first, and they follow me.
But yeah, myself, I work at a hardware store and lumber company here in my hometown.
Yeah.
In sales and whatnot. But for about 10 years, I worked out on the river, on the Ohio River, Mississippi River, as a deckhand on barges and boats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was a different type of job. You have to be gone for 30 days and live on a boat. And one year you're on the boat at Christmas, and 1 year you get off. That's just how it works.
That's like with my job, about the only time you're off on the holidays if you take a vacation day or it falls on your day off.
Right.
This year, believe it or not, I'm actually working all but about 2 of the holidays this year, unless I take a vacation day.
I guess Pond Predator's saying you might know some of the in-laws then.
Who knows? Oh, me.
That's right, Jeff Jackson. Being a deckhand is a rough job at times.
Especially when you really be a rough one in the wintertime.
Yeah, but especially when you bump heads with the captain and you don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Backwoods Barbarian's with us. How you doing? Appreciate you stopping by there. Backwoods Barbarian is a channel out of Canada.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really highly recommend checking his stuff out if you ever get a chance.
Okay.
He does a lot of good stuff, hunting and getting ready to do, I think, a series on bear hunting, if I ain't mistaken. And he does some survival and type stuff too. And his latest video, which was pretty entertaining and somewhat comical, was about a little bit about survival and marking your area as far as getting back into where you might be to help yourself get back. But check that one out without giving away too much.
Okay, I will. Jeff Jackson, retired Pennsylvania state trooper. Oh, I bet he had a lot of stories.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky we don't do a lot of shift changes, or we're pretty much on a set schedule. I've been on night shift now for, oh Lord, I started at the SO in 2012, and I worked about 4 months on days and went to nights, and I've been on nights ever since.
Backwards Barbarian said he made bear burgers today.
I've never tried bear. Always wanted to, but I've never tried it.
I haven't either. I
had just about everything else. Probably the strangest thing I've ever had was skunk.
I've not tried that. I've had raccoon. I've had groundhog, or whatever you might want to call it. That's what I call it here.
That's what we call it's groundhog too. I've ate a lot of groundhog. Never had
some
raccoon.
People say woodchuck.
Yeah. We did a kind of a survival weekend in Boy Scouts. We were working on our wilderness survival patch and our merit badge. And Dad was teaching us how to do figure fours. And we all picked a spot and set up a figure four, and we're going to eat whatever we killed in the figure four. And we had a couple that got squirrels, had one that got a groundhog, and just so happened I killed a skunk in mine. And that was different. Cleaning it was very interesting. After you got it clean, you boiled it till it was probably 2/3 of the way done, and then pulled it out, rolled it in flour, and finished frying it like you would groundhog. And that was the only way you could do it, and it be edible. If you didn't boil it first, it was so tough you couldn't chew it. But taste-wise, tasted just like groundhog. Best thing about bear meat is if you bait them, you can pre-season the meat before you kill it. We've got...
That sounds like it. Go ahead.
We've got random black bear around here, but not enough to have a season in this part of Kentucky.
Yeah, there's I mean, even in my neck of the woods of Kentucky, there's been, I know one of the guys I work with, he's had bear on his trail cam.
Yeah, we've had several over in the western part of Boyle County where they've had them getting trail cam pictures of them getting into the garbage and stuff like that. Now, if you ask Fish and Wildlife, they'll tell you there's no bear in this part of Kentucky. Even though we show them trail cam pictures, they still say that there's no bear here. So I don't understand that, but hey.
Not really sure unless it's just they go by a quota. You have to have so many in the state to count that they're being, really don't know why they say that.
I don't either. They'll tell you, yeah, they're over in eastern Kentucky and they're down along the Tennessee line, but they say they'll swear, you can ask any one of them and they'll swear there's no bear here in central Kentucky.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I'd say there's plenty of bears in your neck of the woods, backwoods.
Yeah.
Well, Pond Predator Nation said he saw one close to Danville Hospital a while back.
Wow. We've got some friends that live down here in Lincoln County, just south of Houstonville, and they've had them in their backyard.
Sweet treats and quality feed for a few weeks prior to killing will change the taste of any omnivore for the better.
I didn't know that. I've always heard they like donuts. I always heard that black bear like donuts. Don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but I've always heard that.
Yeah, donuts, maybe honey buns.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys got any questions or anything, feel free to ask. We'll just sit here and continue to talk. I seen a Pond Predator Nation speak of a meet and greet for these Kentucky channels, maybe one day soon.
I actually had a guy contact me on Instagram, Drake's Landing. He's out of Frankfurt, and he said the
I've heard of
same
them.
thing. He said he'd like for all of us to get together somewhere.
I think I have that channel. I think I got them picked up as I'm a subscriber to them,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they might be a subscriber to me as well. Peanut butter. Hey, I don't think we got any. I don't have any mods in the chat with me today. I could try to. I'll try to drop the link though. I'm sure be able to here. See me?
Game Commission saying there's no bears or any other animals. Pond Predator, if you know anybody that's out over the Mercer County Fishing Game Club, you may talk to them. I know they have a lot of
I'll try to drop it.
get-togethers out there. There's the Trade Fest, Archery Festival. There's a rendezvous they have out there every year. They have a bunch of archery shoots, so maybe that might be a place if we've got somebody we can talk to out there to maybe get that for a weekend. Oh, dog's going off. Either there's somebody walking down the sidewalk or a dog out front.
What kind of dog you got?
We've actually got two. Mine is a Black Lab Austrian Shepherd mix, and my wife's got a English Setter. Mine thinks she's a police dog. She barks at everything that moves. Got to check out every little sound.
I think I dropped that link in there.
Yeah, there it is.
I figured it'd be easier just to do it from my phone. I wasn't sure if I dropped off the screen there when I went to another tab on my computer. I know you can share tabs through StreamYard like this, but I wasn't. So I just went to my phone and done it.
Pond Predator, you said you have two Australian Shepherds. I got a question for you. Do they chew their toenails? Because this one of mine, every night before bed, chews her toenails.
Wow.
She's 5 years old, and we've never had to trim her toenails because she chews them every night.
Thank you, Backwoods. He said he's got you. He'll be checking you out later.
All righty. I'll find him when this is over with.
Oh, yeah.
I can get on my phone and find him.
That's fine, too. But, yeah, speaking of dogs, I got a mountain cur. He's about 14 years old. Going to try him out with squirrels here later this year. That's what they're supposed to be good for, is treeing squirrels.
Yeah.
But
Dad said they used them a lot when he was a kid.
Yeah. They're a breed of dog that was brought forth during the earlier settler times in the state. From what I read about him anyway. And he's brindle and white. Say again?
Curs and Feist.
Yeah, right.
Dad.
But I give him, his name is Ranger.
Probably what, about 35, 40 pounds?
Somewhere around there, yeah, probably. I mean, at the moment, he's probably about 15 months old, something like that.
Yeah. Jack Russell chooses dew claws. Huh.
Jeff Jackson picked you up there.
Yep, Backwoods did as well.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
A lot of my videos, especially when they pertain to Dad, I like to throw in little stories that he's passed on to me too.
Right.
Probably the one that surprised people the most is Dad was a teenager, probably around 13, 14. And he said that he remembers when Fish and Wildlife come into his community where he grew up and brought in a big cattle trailer full of deer and reintroduced deer into that part of Kentucky.
Oh.
He said the whole community showed up to see them release these deer because nobody had ever seen one. And that's probably the coolest thing I think he's passed on to all of us. Because nowadays you can't imagine what it would be like to never seen a deer, then have somebody bring them in a truck and cut them loose. The closest thing we would have had to that would have been when they reintroduced elk in eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, I remember about the around time they done that. I mean, I didn't get to see them release them, but when it first started, that whole lottery hunt or whatever, or you kind of had to draw. But I had people, quite a bit older than me, talk about how when they would deer hunt, they'd have to go to maybe like Tennessee or something just to hunt deer because there wasn't none even in eastern Kentucky. I don't guess a whole lot.
Dad said the first person he ever heard of killing a deer killed that deer down around Land Between the Lakes. And he said he was probably about 10, 11 years old. And he said that was the first time he'd ever heard of anybody killing a deer. So, I mean, that would have put, Dad was born in 35, that would have put in the mid 40s when he heard that. And then I guess it was probably late 40s, early 50s when they come in up there and brought them in and by the truckload and turned them loose. But Dad was full of stories, full of knowledge.
Right.
Like I said earlier, that was the main reason for starting my channel, is to try and pass on what he had taught me as well as what I'd learned, because like you said, it's disappearing.
Jeff Jackson's saying, according to history, up here in Pennsylvania, they did the same thing way back in the early 1900s. Up here, deer meat was sold like beef is now.
Wow. That's interesting. Because you think of all the places like that having deer the whole time. Yes, he did, Smallwaller.
Teddy Roosevelt, yeah.
He's who we have to thank for the National Park Service as well. He's an interesting fella if you get to read anything about him. I just finished up a book here not too long ago from his time at the ranch. I believe it was after he was president. I think it was Trail Life and Ranch Work or something like that. It's a good book. I've actually got it loaned out right now. I had another buddy who borrowed it. Wow. I was reading what Smallwater put up there about the 1800s, the three flatbed train cars.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm hoping to get to add some more outdoor videos into my channel this year. I finally got that I've only got one piece of property that I can really do anything on. About 15 acres of all woods. It's got a pretty deep ravine through it, but I've been told on it I've got pretty much free run. And I got out and cleaned it up here a while back and got enough where I can get a truck in to the biggest portion of it. But I'm hoping to be able to get out there and do a shelter build and everything started, get it started pretty soon. Going to concentrate on it on a lot of peg connectors, drilling it with a bracing bit and then pegging it all together.
Right. Yeah. That beats a lot of times that beats a paracord or bank line, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I'll probably use some of that too, but
I have watched that. There was one channel out there that's how they've done a lot of their builds were just pegging and stuff.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of that done on YouTube. There's a few channels that do some of that, but like TA Outdoors does a lot of construction and they'll peg and joint stuff together. But overall, most bushcraft channels, the structures they build are all bank lined and paracorded and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to throw that out, something a little different. As my dad always told me, he said, when it comes to that kind of stuff, he said, you're only limited by your imagination. And he always said, what works for you may not work for the next guy. He said, always look for something different.
Right.
The farm my dad was born on had squirrels and rabbits. Wow. I never saw a beaver here in this part of Kentucky until about, I want to say about 9 years ago. I saw first one. I'd seen signs, but I actually saw the first one in Perryville.
Oh.
There in Chaplain River in Perryville. It was the first one I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I've been done a little bit there yesterday, and then last weekend trying to do what my buddy here has just entered the chat, the Huntsman. Evening to you, but he does a lot of shed hunting, and that's what I've been trying to do is tracking around the woods here in my area that I live in, and looking for deer antlers and stuff like that, and sheds, and even maybe some skulls or something like that. I just kind of like looking for stuff like that.
I've found them, but I've looked up all of them. I'd never heard of shed hunting until about 10 years ago. I had no clue that people went out and just looked for the antlers. It was interesting to me to see people train dogs to hunt sheds.
I know, and pretty soon it'll be time for some morel mushrooms and things like that.
That's something I've always been leery of is mushrooms. I don't have anybody around me to teach me the difference in them. So shed hunting is a pain most of the time. Probably a whole lot of just wandering around, walking in the woods looking, I'd say. Good exercise, though.
Oh, yeah. Moved to Florida 5 years ago and haven't seen more bobcat.
Now, I knew you could eat puffballs. My dad talked about eating puffballs. He said they would slice them and fry them in oil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the husband's pretty good at the tracking deer, that's for sure.
Yeah. I've seen some of his videos on his channel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've only seen 3 bobcats in my life and 1 panther. Puffball's bigger than my backpack. The biggest one I've ever found is about the size of a basketball.
Hmm.
Small water, do the
Yeah.
bobcat pelts bring anything down your way? Right around here, it doesn't pay to trap for pelts anymore. There's just no market for them.
Yeah. We got a couple people that still do it here. I mean, there's one gentleman, he's probably close to 80, and he still gets out and traps and this, that, and the other. But then now he's passed it down to his son, and his son does it a lot. But that's about the only 2 people that actually do it on a regular basis.
We've got one guy over in Mercer County that does it. And every once in a while, we'll get a call on him. Somebody will see him with a flashlight in a creek, and they'll call on him and go out there. And as soon as you pull up, you know who it is. But he does it. He catches a lot of mink and a lot of coyote, and that's how he supplements his income.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I remember right, there at one point, the state had a bounty on coyotes here in Kentucky, didn't it? Back in the 80s, early 80s, I think it was. I'd always been told that.
Not sure if I've ever heard that before, but maybe so. Yeah, small water charter said he traded it all for bass fishing. And they do it very well. Just that, check our channel. Yeah, boy, I've seen a lot of stuff from small water charters. I enjoy watching them.
That's something I hope to get back into this year's fishing. I haven't done much of it the last 7 years.
Now we got the mega gators. Pennsylvania has a bounty on yotes. Yeah, or at least they did.
Yeah. Probably the most destructive animal in this part of Kentucky is a coyote.
Right. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. And then right here where I live, I mean, I can go outside sometimes at night and hear them way back on the ridge hollering,
Yeah. Well, here where I live right on the edge of the city limits, and you can go out here at night and hear them just within a quarter mile of the house or less. And that, like I said, I'm right here on the edge of the city limits. So they're everywhere. Probably the strangest one I've seen, I saw one run through the cemetery right here behind the house.
Well, I got somebody here I've never seen before, Kentucky John.
He is a follower on my channel.
Yeah.
John.
That's what I was getting ready to ask, maybe. Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by.
He is in, if I remember right, Clark County, I think he said, which would be Winchester and up in there.
Winchester, yeah. Mm-hmm. Kenneth Cox just joined us. He said he hears all them coyotes all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Paul Nation Cats.
All Nation Cat.
550 cord. we used anything and everything we could as a kid. Probably the number one thing we used was baling twine. That was our 550 cord when I was young. We always had a pocket full of 550 cord, a book of matches, and a pretty good sized piece of aluminum foil and a pocket knife.
Look in the devil's eyes.
Yes, they are bright yellow. What do you do about chiggers?
Stay away from them.
I don't have a lot of problem with chiggers, but I make sure whenever I go out, I try to wear socks at least come up over my calves, close to my knees.
Yeah. That's right, Jeff Jackson. Yeah, 550 cord was never heard of back then.
I probably never heard of 550 cord till about 15 years ago.
And speaking of talking about cordage, I've seen some of these subscription boxes that are out nowadays. You might have heard of them. Like there's one called Battle Box and this, that, and the other. And one of them had a tool that you can use to cut cordage out of like plastic 2-liter pop boxes or bottles and stuff.
I've seen that done without the tool.
Right. I mean, you can do it
notch
without
on
it,
the top of a tree limb or something and stick your knife in and pull it through that way. But that little tool, I saw that, I think it was a Battle Box. That would have been handy. Because no matter where you go, you can find plastic bottles.
Yeah. Which is sad to say in the woods, but
yeah, it is.
I know. I guess if but you'd find them even in urban areas too. A lot of times.
Yeah. Kentucky John, try Avon Skin So Soft. That works pretty good for chiggers. It also works fairly well for ticks. You can also put it on your dogs, and it'll help keep fleas off your dogs. We use that on ours a lot.
Well, I guess I really knew that. But that's good to hear. I was reading up here about small water charters talking about ants here running chiggers off. They are tiny pit bulls.
Do you all have fire ants down that way? Kick your butt and beat you with your thermocell. The worst place I've ever been to see mosquitoes had to be Minnesota. I went to Minnesota years ago and was about 30 minutes south of International Falls. And when the sun would go down on one side of the lake, it looked like a black cloud coming up off the water.
Wow.
Fire ants. I am lucky we don't have fire ants here. I've heard horror stories about them.
They're all hungry. So do you find a good enough amount of time to to make your content with your job, or
It runs in spurts. The biggest
right?
thing that I see with me is anything that I want to do out at that piece of property, I have to
Right.
schedule it ahead of a time because from my house there's about 20-30 minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
So to go over and spend a half a day there and then get back, it's sometimes it's hard to get that time. That's why a lot of
Right.
my videos you see are either here in the garage or out in the backyard, just because that's
Right.
convenient.
Oh yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I was just wondering. I know. I guess your job sometimes might be. I mean, I find it hard a lot of times. I work 9 hours a day, and every other week it's a half a day on Saturday. So sometimes it's kind of hard.
Yeah, we work 10-hour shifts, and then the way our schedule falls, I get a 3-day weekend every other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
then,
pretty good.
but then when I've spent 6 out of 7 days working, and then I get a couple of days off, I usually spend most of that time, if I can, with family, just trying to
Right.
catch up because they're on
Yeah.
day shift schedule and I'm on night shift. I see them just 3 or 4 hours, see the wife 3 or 4 hours a day, and that's about it.
Yeah. Family has to come first. That's for sure.
That's
Certain
it.
there.
That's it. Company that sells
Yeah,
those
Jeff.
card size survival card sells bottle cutters. Okay.
Yeah,
What's,
those credit
what's
card
the thing for mosquitoes down there? We're coming that way in June. We're going down to Sanibel Island in June, and then going to go on, and then going on down to Key West one day.
killed 180 Boone and Crockett skeeter.
That's funny. Oh. Honey, you want to come over and say hi too? No. Why not? I'm good. She's lurking in the doorway over here.
Yeah.
And
My
she put
wife
it.
sometimes
I'm watching.
Yeah.
Small water. She wants to know what's good for the no-see-ums down that way. Her and my little boy both have allergic reactions to mosquito bites. So anything that we can do to prevent that would be greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A face mask.
Instead of face mask.
Oh, they're in Okeechobee. Small water charters are. Cover up. They are worst at sunset.
Okay. Small water, we've never been to Key West, but we figured since we were going to be that close, it would be worth the 5-hour drive to go on down and visit.
Oh yeah, I agree. What's your stance on batoning with a knife?
I think anything and everything goes when you're looking for dry wood. How's that? Now, granted, as I put in one of my videos, I said, you got to know the limitations of your tools. If you've got a 4-inch blade, you don't need to try and baton 4-inch wood.
Right.
Me myself, usually, I don't like to baton much of anything that's bigger than a pop can.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, and that's about where I'm at with it. You know, we use the smaller stuff. I mean, you can baton pretty decently and not damage much.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watch KY Bushcraft.
Yes.
Dan Waller. I mean, I know he's a big man. The axe is his best friend, but I've seen him baton. I mean, he'll baton if he has to.
Yeah. I try to carry an axe or a tomahawk or something with me all the time anyways, but when it comes to that, like I said, know the limits of your tools and then anything goes. I've actually used an SC3 to take down a 4-inch piece of standing wood, baton it in and beaver chew it out. But if I've got a better tool, I'll use it.
Right. I mean, if that's the only thing you got, that's the only thing you got. You never know. But I just kind of question popped in my head. And I figured I'd ask you before I forgot it.
that was a good one, because that one probably causes more turmoil on YouTube than anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I even have folding saws and things like that too, just in case.
Yeah. Usually when I go out, I've at least got a 4-inch bladed fixed knife. I've usually got a folding saw and usually got the Gibson axe on my belt at all times. And then I'll take an axe, a tomahawk. I've got a Boreal 21 that I take with me. But all of those, like I said, they're wherever my pack is. The other 3 items are always on me. That and a fire kit. I've got a fire starting kit that I keep on my belt. I've got a belt set up just for that I've always got on me.
I mean, I guess I mean, some people think when it comes to a fire kit that, you know, they don't. I mean, myself, I like to try to practice the more primitive means of fire, but it's not necessarily going to be my only means of getting a fire if I'm just wanting to be in the woods to enjoy myself. You know what I mean?
That's it. And then plus, too, the primitive means are great, but if you fall in a creek at 20 degrees, to me, primitive is useless at that point. You want something that's a sure thing, be it a lighter. Something I've even heard people talk about lately is the small 10-minute pocket road flares. Those, they get hot enough and burn long enough, they'll even start wet wood. It can be marginal, and those will still start.
But I've watched. I mean, you probably watched a lot of Dave Canterbury, or maybe check his channel out.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of the videos on his channel of some of the classes he has at the school where they're all sitting there trying to the bow drill and all that, which is pretty neat. I mean, I've not mastered that practice, but I have gotten it a time or two. I mean,
I tried with it for years. And this last October, I went to our fall meetup that they have here in Kentucky. And Robert from Bluegrass Bushcraft sat down and pretty much helped me with it. I had everything right. The biggest thing that I had wrong was the notch that I was cutting in my hearth board was nowhere near big enough. And he helped me figure it out. And I can get it just about every time now.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near wanting to try it on a video. I mean, I would probably have all kinds of bloopers.
He actually, the very first time he had me try it at the fall meetup, he actually videoed it. And it's actually on one of his videos. I think I've got a clip of it on one of my videos from the fall meetup as well. Flint and steel, I've done that. Dad taught me how to do that years and years ago. I'm still playing around with trying to find what I think is the best material to make char cloth out of.
Right.
He always used 100% cotton handkerchiefs and worked pretty well, but I'm trying to experiment with other materials to see if some material works better than that. I had one guy said to use denim, and I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, that's denim. That's what I was going to say. Was seemed like what I've heard a lot of people say they've used.
Yeah.
My problem is just finding a good piece of flint. I've made some char cloth before, but I've never been able to find a good piece of flint. At least in my area.
Around here, we got a lot of chert more than flint, and it works. But the thing with it is, you hit it 2 or 3 times with a flint striker, and you're breaking pieces of it off.
That's right. Them snus cans probably would work great to make char cloth.
Yeah.
Or an Altoids can.
I've done it with an Altoids tin, and then I had one of the bigger steel canisters with the pop lid, and I've made it in that before. Not a lot of camping in nature. Around here, AC is mandatory. I could say so in the summertime, especially. The humidity down there has got to be crazy.
Now, there's one channel I've had on my channel. He's from he might be more northern part of Florida, but he does a lot of bushcraft type stuff. And it's Rewild Outdoors.
Okay.
Not sure. I know he's not closer to the Key West area or anything like that, or Okeechobee. He's probably more around Pensacola or something, if I'm not mistaken.
I like watching stuff from different areas just to see how they do things, because everything it varies so much from area to area. And then you may watch 2 people from the same area and both of them do it a different way. I've got a guy that I watch all the time out of the mountains, Bushcraft. I think he's in Colorado, and they do things completely different from the way that we would around here.
Right. Yeah, especially in, say maybe Colorado, or even like say, in a desert area, Arizona or something like that. I'm sure it'd be totally different.
Yeah.
I've seen one channel out of Texas. They eat a lot of cactus petals, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew the prickly pear cactus, the inside of them were edible. I'm actually jealous of all the people who have access to birch bark. We don't have it here where I'm at. And Robert, at the last bushcraft meetup we had in the fall, had somebody send him a huge box of it from Canada. And that was the first time I'd ever got to play with any of it. And that stuff's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I've always heard it was. Yeah. Things in this bush will eat you. My old butt's staying in the boat. Hello there, Jay and the Sticks.
Small water, how's the snake infestation going down there? I've heard it's putting a strain on the local wildlife. Jay in the Sticks. Where's he out of?
I think he might be in either the southern part of Ohio or something like that, or if I'm not mistaken, he's actually a pilot or a captain on a towboat.
Oh,
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. I know you're a pilot. I think he might be works out of the harbor of some areas there in the Ohio River.
yeah. Yeah, I knew y'all were having a problem with the pythons down there. I used to do a lot of fishing up on the Ohio River around Markland Dam.
I've been through Markland Dam a few times. I posted your link there again in case
I see
anybody's
that.
come in.
Thank you.
So, oh, you're welcome. Yeah, McAlpine around Louisville, uh, Lock and Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky.
Ah,
Kind of that tri-state area there, up around
yeah.
Ashland, Kentucky, probably
Yeah.
Huntington, West Virginia. Yeah, you better keep that pistol by your side, brother. Python, that is. Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine that was fishing out in Western Kentucky. Had a snake fall out of a tree in the boat. Needless to say, he had to bring his boat in and take it to repair bullet holes in the bottom of it.
Hmm.
He's scared to death of snakes. He put about 4 bullet holes in the bottom of his boat.
Hello there, Lee Puckett. Good to see you. I think Lee, he's a Kentuckian. He might live around the Louisville area. I believe he's got some property here close by to where I'm at, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Do you all have problems getting access to property?
Myself?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, where I'm at, it's all around me.
Is it? See here,
Yeah, I mean, I live
it's
up a
hard
holler.
to give you permission to go on property around here.
I mean, it's a lot of hilly stuff, hilly area, hilly woods. I mean, I have to
Yeah.
climb up hills, and but once I get to the top of a ridge, or there's places where it's flat. I got a base camp just 200 feet from my house.
That would be great.
300. Yeah, I'm going to be doing another video soon where I've checked it out, but when we had the ice storms there back a few weeks ago or a month ago or so,
Yeah,
I've had some trees.
January.
Yeah, I've had some trees fall on that camp or my shelter, so I'm going to do a video called "Revamp the Camp." But I have some videos, some prior videos where I'm at the shelter and things like that. So
yeah, I've seen those.
yeah, it's not very far. I can, if I want to go straight up the hill from behind my house, it wouldn't take me near as long as, but sometimes I take a more scenic route and it takes a little longer, but it's still not that long. It's still, it's still walking distance.
Yeah. I've got a heck of a piece of property here within 5 minutes of the house, but it belongs to the local hospital. I think it's about 325 acres of nothing but hardwoods. And it's so hilly, they can't do anything with it, but they won't let anybody on it.
Hmm.
Wayne National Forest. That would be great. And then also where I'm at, I don't have any public land. The nearest public land to me would be Red River Gorge area.
Mm-hmm. You know, like we were speaking about that earlier. I mean, I'm not that far from the gorge either. I've been thinking about, maybe this summer taking a trip there and just doing get some footage and stuff like that of a hike or something. Me and my wife, and might even take the dog or whatever.
Yeah. We used to, when I was in Boy Scouts, there was a jamboree there every year. And we would go down there and do a lot of rappelling and stuff like that. Turkey season.
Kentucky's John said the gorge got turned into a mini Gatlinburg. They have
the main drag up going toward Natural Bridge is a lot like a mini Gatlinburg.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got like underwater kayaking or cave kayaking or whatever.
And then they've got the
underwater, underground.
Yeah, got Miguel's Pizza and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I guess you visited Miguel's before.
Oh, several times. Small water, you're right.
I've been.
Everybody, brother, poaches on there, and rumor has it that it is notorious for illegal farming, and we'll just leave it at that. There's a crafty crow.
Yeah. He popped in. Good to see you there.
Lee says he's 40 miles from the gorge. I'm probably about the same. I'm about an hour out from the gorge. We were talking about that earlier, Lee. We need to try and work something out for this central part of Kentucky and get everybody in. Yes, small water. That's what we call them here too. And they get very, very ingenious with it.
Mm-hmm.
Lee says he has the land and everybody is welcome. Lee, find me on Instagram and we'll try to work something out and see if we can get everybody together and maybe have something there on a weekend.
Yeah, that would be good because I think that land, I mean, Lee approached me a while back, probably this time last year, saying he had land right real close to me. So that would be pretty good. We could have Stephen of the Crafty Crow. He could come and join us if he'd like to. And Jason Mann's Adventures, that's his buddy. He has a outdoor type camping channel, and anybody that might not be from Kentucky that might be close, they could come on down too.
I know the fall meetup we had, Carolina Chris was there. Ugly Tent was there. And
yeah, Ugly Tent.
He was out of Ohio. So I don't think if we could get it scheduled at the right time of the year, I don't think we'd have a problem with people showing up.
Right. That's right. Leave no footprint. Right.
Yeah. Everything you pack in, you pack back out.
All right, Small Water. Appreciate you joining us.
Glad you dropped by.
But yeah, that would be cool. We'd get it done somehow.
Yeah, that would be nice to get everybody together.
If Mr. Lee Puckett invites us over, we'll should try to do our best to figure something out.
Yeah.
I think I'm connected with Lee on Facebook, so
I don't have Facebook.
Oh, I know you have Instagram, so
Yeah, I've got
anybody I guess would
Instagram.
get the whole.
A little over 300 acres. That would be plenty.
If I ain't mistaken, Lee, didn't you say that was pretty close to me? I think it's actually in the same little area here, little village that I live in. Small Water Charters, they're live on Friday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
I'd check him out on my on my 3-day weekends.
That's right, Jeff Jackson. Pack it in, pack it back out.
And like we were talking earlier, it's funny the stuff that you find out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about, Lee Puckett, Big Mandy Road. That's actually in walking distance from me, maybe 3 miles, 4 miles. But I mean, that's as a crow flies, not very far at all.
Yeah. We definitely need to set something up because as of right now, the only two that I know of in Kentucky are the fall meetup and the spring meetup that Kentucky Woodsman and Robert from Bluegrass Bushcraft and that bunch all put on.
Those areas are where they meet up for those. I'm not sure exactly what part of it. It's probably Eastern Kentucky, isn't it? Where those at, or southern, southeastern maybe?
The one coming up in June is in Letcher County. It's at Fish Pond Lake. And then the one they have in the falls at Turkey Creek, Turkey Foot Campground, which is just a little bit the other side of Berea.
Oh, okay.
So it's only about an hour and a half for me, and then the one at Fish Pond is almost 3.5 hours from me.
Yeah, Letcher County. That's Hazard, Kentucky, if I'm mistaken.
Might be. Oh. My wife's standing there telling me, "Don't you dare turn that camera around."
I'm cold.
Yeah, Lee Puckett, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll get a hold of you for sure.
Yeah, let's see if we can't get something worked out and get a weekend that works for everybody.
Hello, Wild Man 307 Outdoors. That's another little young fella there that's got a love for the outdoors at a young age.
That's good.
Okay, Wattsburg. That's Fish Trap Lake is pretty close to me. It's around Wattsburg. Yeah. Is it Fish Trap or Fish Pond? Or?
It's Fish Pond Lake.
Fish Pond Lake.
Yeah.
I thought that's what, yeah.
My wife's cold. She's over here hugging the heater.
Oh.
She's cold.
Yeah, it's probably not supposed to be too warm this evening. Or
it never got out of the 50s here today.
I seen through the week we got 60s and yeah, we had some sunshine here a little bit, but it was pretty windy.
It was here too. The wind was coming out of the north west here. But I think it got up to about 58 here compared to the 71 it was yesterday.
But I know she don't want to get in the camera, but I'll say hello to Miss Central KY Bushcraft.
Hello.
Did you hear? She said hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I heard her.
She's been in one or two of my videos, and both times she's fussed at me for sneaking her in.
Eh,
She's camera
my
shy.
wife, she's actually, I actually had her on a live stream on one of my live streams there in my Frontier Survival live stream playlist. You can find her in there.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a hoot sometimes. She's not camera shy. But a lot of times, I mean, it's not really about camera shy. It's just, sometimes you want to do it, sometimes you might not. It's just
My
that's kind
little
of
boy
my take
too.
on that. I mean, I myself growing up, I had in high school, I had a drama class and a media class, and I even studied broadcasting for a little bit. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me really to be on camera, and especially even when it is live, you got more of a chance of you can't edit that stuff out unless you go back and just do like a highlight reel of
Always
the live
says
stream.
to me, she says you can walk up to anybody, whether you know them or not, and just start talking to them. She says, "How do you do that?"
Hey, I think mine just kind of goes. I work in the public, so
Yeah.
I if I see someone I don't, and the other guys know who they are, they know their name, but I didn't know their name. I try to hear hear their name, so the next time I call them by name, and people like it when you call them out by name a lot. I think.
Yeah.
I had
my little boy.
My grandpa. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that my grandpa was a county attorney in Lawrence County, Kentucky, for a lot of years, and he said that's what he always told me. He said people like to hear their name called out.
Yeah. My little boy's into drama big. He's been in 3 or 4 plays, and he's got one more coming up this year that they've been doing limited practices. They'll have just a few kids at a time in. But he's like me. He can talk to anybody. Yeah. His last play that he put on, they performed to 200 plus people every night for 2 weeks. And he's a nut. He ain't got a lick of sense. Wade Cox. Wade, where are you from?
If I ain't mistaken, I think if it's the same Wade Cox, yeah, that's who it is. I see his picture now. He's a cousin to my wife. He's right here. He's I think he lives in Elliott County, which is Sandy Hook, Kentucky. It's a neighboring county to me. Actually, where I live, I'm actually closer to the Elliott County line, but I actually live in Morgan County.
Do you? That's like me. I can walk out on my back porch and see the Lincoln County line. If you all remember the pipeline explosion a little over a year ago, that was close enough to my house we could see it out the back door.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can remember that.
That was only, what, hun? 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile from the house.
Maybe. We were just at the point of not getting.
Yeah, we were just outside the evacuation zone. Kentucky John asks, what would be the best way to protect an apple and pear tree from frost? That's a good one. If it's small enough, you could cover it up with something, but
right,
the chances of them being that small's unlikely. Well, Heath, didn't you say there was another channel that was having a live stream start at 8?
Not sure. I'm sure they are. I'm not sure if did I mention it earlier? I can't remember.
The other day when we were talking, I think you said it was maybe Boxy or something.
Oh yeah, Boxy Outdoors. I think he starts somewhere around there, 8 or so. He does like a deal where each week, whoever the comments first in his live stream, and if they're under 1,000 subscribers, and they have to have a certain amount of uploads, that he'll showcase them the next week.
Ah. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, we can end this anytime you want to. I just said I'd go about an hour. We've already gone 20 minutes past that.
Yeah, I know it. We've had a good turnout.
We have. I mean, we still got 8 with us. But yeah, I mean, we even got somebody else that popped in, Tom Keltish and Everything Outdoors. I think he's from, I can't remember now. I know it's up north or northwest. Oh, Boxy's not going to be on tonight, Tom says.
All right. I saw that one. If you want to add somebody else in here, you feel free to. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I can drop the link again, share it here. I mean, the link to the stream.
Yeah, I don't care if somebody else wants to come in. I'm at I'm at 424 subscribers. So this has been a big boost. I'm going to do a giveaway at 500.
Yeah, I seen you mention that in that latest video. Wisconsin, that's where Tom Keltish is from. Wisconsin. I was wanting to say Minnesota, so forgive me, Tom. That's why I didn't mention it.
I went through Wisconsin when I went to Minnesota back years ago.
All right, here's Lee Puckett.
Oh,
hey, buddy,
what's up, guys?
doing?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a good idea of trying to put something together where we can get all of us together for a weekend.
Listen, guys, if y'all want to do something, we can. Hey, guys, nice to meet everybody. If you guys want to do something, let me know, and yeah, we'll get a bunch of people together.
I think sometime try to do it toward the end of summer, first of the fall might be a good time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think it's any question if everybody wants to do something. It's just when a good time would be for everybody.
Because I know the fall meetup that Kentucky Woodsman and all of them put on is in October. Their spring meetup is in June. So
we lost him.
Yep.
He'll pop back in here.
So
right.
Somewhere I'd say toward the end of the summer, beginning of the fall might be a good time.
That sounds like a good time.
Fill it out and see what everybody else thinks. See who all would be able to get away to come and do it.
There's my wife. She popped in the chat. Mandy Ward there.
Mine got warm. She went to the other room.
I think I'm actually here in this little makeshift string room I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's actually an old dining room that we don't use. So I turned it into a little stream room office type deal. And she's probably just right outside the living room there right now.
I've kind of turned our garage into a man cave. It doesn't have any heat or AC in it. And in the wintertime, it gets so cold that a bucket of water will freeze in the garage. So I come in and put up a dividing wall in it. And I still have one section that you can use for the garage, but the rest of it, I've kind of turned it into a man cave.
Right. I like your backdrop there with all your. You can't stay on. Yeah. Oh yeah, plenty of Kydex sheaths there. I like them leather sheaths.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
And that's perfect to have that pegboard there to hang that stuff on.
Keeps everything where I know where it's at.
That's right, Crafty Crow, the Frontier Survival Command Center. That sounds like a good name.
Poor Lee keeps popping in and out.
Yeah, maybe his internet's bad, but I think we understand. I mean, he's been gracious enough to invite everybody to his property. He said 300 acres. That's plenty big enough for.
Yeah, we just. I mean, all we need to do is kind of touch base with everybody and see when a good time to get together would be.
Yeah. So I got another question for you, and I find it a little bit. Find it a little bit hard nowadays as I turn older to still sleep on the ground. So I've been thinking about going for a hammock. I haven't ever tried it yet, but I mean I've
spent a lot of time
in hammocks,
but not camping in a hammock.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I've laid in hammocks. Here's Lee again. Let's try to get him back on. There you are. Can't hear us.
Can you hear us now?
There's a real drag to this. There's a lot of buffering.
Oh, okay.
Can y'all hear me like right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yes, Heath, I find it very hard to sleep on the ground as well.
Right. That's right, Crafty Crow. Hammock camping is awesome, I would say.
I've definitely got to try that this year.
I got me a Tigris tent. It's a one Tigris 2.0, and I got it with a cot and an air mattress on top of it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Is it the Backwoods Bungalow?
Backwoods Bungalow 2.0.
I've got a smoky hut, and I love it. The only thing with it is where it doesn't have a floor, you have to really put down a good ground cloth. If not, the condensation inside of it's incredible.
Really?
Yeah. Now with the wood stove, probably have less trouble with condensation, but
I don't do a lot of hot camping. I do a lot of as primitive as I can.
Yeah.
Except for as far as my sleeping system, 100% primitive.
100% what?
Primitive.
Primitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do a lot of primitive stuff in warmer weather.
The farm that I have, it's at a dead end road, and I got a natural spring. I got an outhouse there. It's a really cool place.
Yeah.
And I just don't have anybody to go camping with, basically around where I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly where your place is.
That's about it.
Yeah. My wife is not too big on primitive camping. She likes a few modern amenities.
Mm-hmm.
She did tell me, though, I explained to her the kind of shelter I was wanting to build over at that piece of property, and she told me if I built that, she'd come over there and try it. But
I seen something here earlier. Tom Kelton, she said, heck, sometimes sleeping in his bed is rough sometimes.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Well, maybe Lee might have some internet problems. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there,
See you, Jeff.
but if anybody's got any questions for Central Kentucky Bushcraft, feel free to ask. I don't know how long he would like to stay on, but I'll leave it up to you.
I'm probably going to get off here in just a little bit and do like Jeff and spend some time with the family.
Right. Ain't nothing, like I said earlier, family comes first.
That's it.
I mean,
a yurt, that would be incredible. I've seen some of the videos that Coal Cracker puts out with the yurt.
mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of camping in a wall tent. I've got a vintage 1960s canvas 8x10 wall tent that it's got the Boy Scout seal and everything on it. That when our Boy Scout troop folded up, I was able to get one of the tents, and I still use it. I've got it up in the attic.
That's great. Yeah.
It's that nasty bluish green color, but hey, it still works. I actually helped with our local Boy Scout troop a couple of years ago. They were talking about fire starting and all that stuff, and I helped with that. Boy Scouts has changed a lot from when I was in.
Right. I'm sure it's changed a lot. Yeah. I mean, ain't no doubt about that. Steve of the Crafty Crow said he had one of those tents, but it got in a basement.
Yeah, they don't like water. Mine's getting kind of threadbare. I've got a few places where I'm starting to get a few little holes in it. I'm going to have to put it up one day and get out and sew some of the little holes up so they don't get bigger.
Hello, Tina Ladybug and Grant McIntosh. Miss Irene, the field guide.
I saw her on there a second ago.
Yeah, she's got a good channel. She
does a lot of shed hunting too.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few videos there where she's.
I'll probably give it about another 10, 15 minutes and I'll have to get off here.
That's fine. Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, we appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll do this every week, but I mean, I like doing it. I mean, having other channels on, and maybe we all can grow that way and different things. And I think for the most part, everybody that's been in the chat tonight might already be subscribed to my channel. I know I'm subscribed to a lot of those channels, but I mean, it's all right. We've had some people that follow me, that's here in my hometown, and they've come by and said hello. Some people I have never seen in my live streams before, but
yeah, I've seen a few that I follow that have been on too. So
right, oh yeah. Just like you posted that little video telling everybody you're going to be on here. And I put your link in the description of this video, so anybody that might see it on the replay or something, they can always click that link too.
Yeah, feel free, swing by and check it out. If you like it, hang around.
Oh yeah, that's all anybody can ask for, I guess, when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah. You were talking about your wife earlier. I've got to say that I'm blessed with mine. Not only did she push me into making the jump to go ahead and start this channel, but she kind of feeds my habit. She'll catch me watching videos about different knives and talking about different knives. And I've had several knives just randomly show up in the mail that she's ordered me. So she feeds my knife addiction. I can't complain.
Well, my wife, I got quite a few knives, but my wife's been doing the same thing. And I'll show you a few things she got me for my birthday a couple of days ago. This right here, the Ultimate Survival Manual, and Prepare for Anything Survival Manual.
Yeah.
A couple of books there. And I got quite a few other books that she got me, but like I already had the Bushcraft 101 by Dave Canterbury, but I got the Advanced Bushcraft here somewhere. Yeah, which that one up there, I mean, Bushcraft 101 kind of shows the basics, but
right.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's got a lot of more advanced stuff in it, of course, hence the name, but even talks a little bit about trapping and stuff like that.
Yeah. A book that I got that I found interesting is this one. Now, the thing with this one that I found so interesting is I believe that a lot of this is set for the UK. And it's funny how a lot of it will carry over from the UK here. It goes into a lot of natural cordage, braiding natural cordage. It does have a shelter in here that I have got to try at some point. I've never.
Go ahead. I've seen the author. That was that Raymond Mears or Ray Mears?
Raymond Mears, yeah.
He's actually British. I know that.
Yeah, and
I think that's nice. Group shelter, yeah.
That's something that I want to try out if I can get a place to do it. But it's interesting reading how people do things in other areas of the world.
I agree with that. I've even watched. There's some channel out there that I've seen. I think it's either Vietnamese or something like that, or maybe set in Vietnam, or maybe not sure exactly where it was, but they showed some. Nobody was speaking English, of course, but they were doing like some survival fishing and stuff like that.
Yeah. Crafty Crow, yes, you're right. That is a good woman. She spoils me. Wouldn't take anything for her. But you were talking about her getting you those books for your birthday. She's been on me all day today. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday? I don't have a clue. So, and she'll keep on me until I finally tell her something. So I guess I had to sit down and pick out something. It's hard once you get so much gear that, okay, now what?
But I mean, that's just me. I like reading all that stuff, and then maybe implement some of that stuff in videos or whatnot. I mean, it's not only good to read if I wasn't doing a channel, but it would help maybe, getting some type of content together too. Yeah. Just in case I have a mind block or something. Yeah, there you go. Gift card to Self-Reliance Outfitters.
Here's a good one.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I don't have that one yet, but
if you get a chance, it's incredible read.
Right. We all know that Horace Kephart was a pioneer when it come to woodcraft.
Yeah, I read it, and this is the 1910 edition. Get it over where everybody can see it. And it's funny. Most of this is set around the Smoky Mountains, and a lot of the stuff in this book is still used and taught today. That's what amazed me. 100 years later, and it's still being used on a daily basis and being taught on a daily basis.
Crafty Crow said he has that book in his camp gear.
Yeah. I'm actually reading his other one right now, Back of Beyond, and it's really, really good. It's kind of his biography, and it's been really good. The man had his demons, but don't we all?
Right.
Yes, he was. He's right up there with Nesmute.
Stop it.
There he is. I heard the dog bark.
Yeah. She saw something she didn't like because she come out here and looked at me like, Dad, are you going to come and look at this? Oh. Oh. Well, Heath, I think we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Frontiersman about Samuel Kenton. That would be a good one. That's like Kit Carson. He's from right here in Kentucky. He over around Madison County originally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good stuff about him out there.
Mm-hmm.
You want on here too, son?
Yeah.
Just go say hi. Here, I'll put it on there together.
No.
Okay, I'm getting ready to get off. Now they want to be on camera.
No, we don't. Stop it.
No, we don't.
Say hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey.
And what's he do? He takes off running.
That's all right.
Oh.
He'll perform in front of 200 people, but I'm here.
Well, Heath, you take it easy. Well, let's wind this down. We've been on here almost an hour and 45 minutes. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Everybody
Good time.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you accepting my invite.
Oh, not a problem. I'm glad you had me.
Be glad to have you on any other time. If you ever go live, I wouldn't mind to be on yours.
And I'll let you know. I'm still trying to figure out the live stream stuff.
It takes some time. But
Hon, everybody said hello. Son, everybody said hi to you.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Oh. Well, I greatly appreciate this. You don't have any idea how much I appreciate it.
well, we appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on.
Oh, not a problem. Stay in touch, and we'll see what we can work out toward the end of the summer, first of the fall.
Yeah, I sure will. Yeah. Feel free to message me anytime on Instagram.
Same thing here.
And I'll get with Lee there and see what we can get going.
All righty. Well,
All
y'all,
right. Thanks, Mitt. All right. Thank you.
You got it.
All right. The Central Kentucky Bushcraft channel there, Mr. David. Got a great thing going there. Do appreciate him coming on. Truly do. Hey, Crafty Crow, glad you could be here. Appreciate having you on as well a while back. Yeah, if you don't have Central Kentucky Bushcraft and you'd like to check his channel out, the link is in the description of this live stream. I've dropped the link a couple times in the chat. Appreciate everyone who stopped by. Miss Field Guide, Miss Irene, Kentucky John. Not sure if you have a channel, Kentucky John, but I'll check you out if you do. Appreciate you stopping by this live stream. Some people we had on earlier was the Huntsman, Small Water Charters, Pond Predator Nation, some good fishing channels out there. The Crafty Crow Show joined us, of course. The Field Guide, Mr. Wade Cox, my wife, Mandy, she was with us. Do appreciate everyone who stopped by. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Once again, check out Central KY Bushcraft when you get a chance. Do it right now if you can. Subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to mine if you're not already. And remember, you got to have drive to survive. See you next time.